In a peaceful monastery nestled high in the misty mountains, there lived a wise and revered master known for his deep understanding of the human mind and the mysteries of life. His disciples, eager to learn and grow, often sought his wisdom to guide them on their spiritual paths. One day, as the morning sun cast a golden hue over the landscape, the master gathered his disciples in the courtyard for a lesson unlike any other. The disciples sat quietly, their eyes filled with anticipation. They knew that whenever the master spoke, his words would leave a lasting impression on their hearts and minds. Today, however, the master did something unexpected. He remained silent. Minutes passed, and the silence grew heavier. The disciples exchanged puzzled glances, wondering what the master was trying to teach them. Finally, one of the disciples, unable to contain his curiosity, spoke up, "Master, we are eager to learn. What wisdom do you have to share with us today?" The master looked at the disciple with a serene smile and responded, "Today, I want to teach you about the power of silence. But to understand its true essence, you must experience it for yourselves." The disciples listened intently as the master continued, "For the next hour, I want each of you to find a quiet spot in the monastery and sit in complete silence. Do not speak, do not even think of speaking. Simply be present with yourselves. Observe your thoughts, your emotions, and the world around you without uttering a word." The disciples, though surprised by the simplicity of the task, followed the master's instructions. They dispersed throughout the monastery, finding secluded corners where they could sit in solitude. The hour passed slowly, filled with moments of restlessness, reflection, and, ultimately, a deep sense of peace. When the hour was over, the disciples returned to the courtyard, where the master awaited them. Their faces showed signs of contemplation, and their minds were calm. "Master," one disciple said, breaking the silence, "I have never experienced such a profound stillness within myself. It was as if the world became clearer, more vivid, and yet, I felt a deep sense of peace." The master nodded and replied, "Silence is a powerful teacher. It allows us to connect with the depths of our being and to hear the wisdom that lies within." Today's lesson is a reminder that sometimes, the most profound truths are found not in words, but in the spaces between them. With these words, the master began to share more about the nature of silence, the power of words, and the importance of speaking wisely. The disciples, now fully attuned to the lesson, listened with renewed understanding, ready to embark on a deeper journey of self-discovery, the silent path to enlightenment, in today's chaotic world. How often do you find yourself craving a moment of true peace? We rush through life, constantly bombarded by noise, distractions, and endless demands. Yet, in the midst of this whirlwind, have you ever paused to consider the power of silence? Ah, the profound stillness that can transform your very existence. Could it be the answer you've been seeking all along? The Monk and the King, a tale of restlessness and peace. Imagine a time long ago in the ancient land of India, where a wise Buddhist monk lived deep within a serene forest, far removed from the clamor of the world. This monk was not only a master of meditation but also a beacon of wisdom, known across the vast stretches of India. One day, a powerful king, weary from the burdens of his life, sought out this monk. Can you picture it? A king with immense wealth, fame, and every luxury imaginable, yet still feeling empty inside. He approached the monk with a heart heavy with frustration and said, "Respected monk, I always feel tired, frustrated, and upset. My mind is restless, even though I have everything, wealth, fame, and all the luxuries one could desire, there is still no inner peace within me. Oh monk, please help me to rid myself of this restless mind." The monk, calm and composed, listened with great empathy. Can you feel the tension in the air? After a moment of thoughtful silence, he replied, "You already hold the answer within you. But you have never discovered it. I would like to conduct an experiment. Would you be willing to participate? After this experiment, there will be no unrest and worry in your life." The king, though initially confused and somewhat disheartened by the monk's words, was desperate for peace. "I am ready to do anything for my peace of mind," he declared with a glimmer of hope in his eyes. The monk then proposed, "For the next 15 days, you will stay in my monastery and live like a normal person. During these 15 days, you will sit alone in silence and speak as little as possible. This will help you connect with your inner self and discover the peace you seek." Can you imagine the king's hesitation? Yet his determination to find the peace he so deeply longed for, the king's silent journey, a gradual transformation. The first day in the monastery was anything but easy for the king. Have you ever felt your mind racing uncontrollably? That's exactly how he felt, overwhelmed by his restless thoughts, the silence almost unbearable. Questions, doubts, insecurities, they all surfaced, making him feel utterly lost. The simplicity of the monastery was a stark contrast to his palace, only adding to his discomfort. The urge to speak, to express his thoughts, was powerful. But he held back, remembering the monk's advice. Oh, the strength it must have taken. As night fell, something unexpected happened. The king began to feel a sense of calm and happiness, a feeling so foreign, yet so welcome. Can you imagine his surprise? How could silence, which he had always associated with emptiness, bring such contentment? This question lingered in his mind as he drifted off to sleep, more at peace than he had been in years. What a revelation! The next day, the king continued his silent journey, spending time in solitude. And oh, what discoveries he made! Have you ever truly noticed the world around you? The flowers, the plants, the birds in the sky, all these became subjects of his quiet contemplation. For the first time in his life, the king truly appreciated the beauty of nature that surrounded him. The vibrant colors of the flowers, the gentle rustling of leaves in the wind, the melodious songs of birds, how could he have missed this before? His heart filled with peace and wonder. As the days passed, the king's inner turmoil began to subside. His mind, once a storm of thoughts and emotions, started to calm. By the 12th day, the king found himself entering a state of deep meditation. His eyes closed on their own, and his mind became free from the worries that had plagued him for so long. In this state of deep meditation, the king experienced a level of inner peace he had never known before. Can you feel the transformation? It was nothing short of miraculous, the king's realization, the source of inner peace. On the final day of his stay, the king approached the Buddhist monk with a newfound understanding. His heart brimming with gratitude, he said, "Respected monk, I have discovered why my mind was so troubled." The monk, with a gentle smile, asked, "Please share with me what you've learned." The king replied, "I used to talk too much. I spent a lot of energy on people, often thinking negatively about them. This excessive talking and negative thinking wasted my time and disturbed my mind. As a result, I couldn't perform my tasks effectively, leading to repeated failures. These failures made me even more unhappy and easily annoyed. However, these 15 days have been a transformative experience. Now, I feel like I'm truly living life to its fullest. I realized that before this, I was living it the wrong way. I also learned that we don't have to force meditation, it happens naturally when we allow our minds to be still. Isn't that a powerful realization? What if we all learned this truth earlier in life? The monk's wisdom, the eternal value of silence. The monk, deeply moved by the king's insights, shared his wisdom with a calm and knowing look. It is not just you, O king. Many people in the world talk too much, even today. This excessive talking continues to cause problems in their lives. When we speak too much, we drain our energy, and our minds become cluttered with unnecessary thoughts. Silence, on the other hand, allows us to conserve our energy and focus our minds. Can you see how much we stand to gain from this simple yet profound practice? The monk then recounted a story from the life of Gautama Buddha. A student once asked Buddha why he was often silent. Buddha replied, "I stay silent to dive deep within myself." Silence is the first step to truly knowing yourself. Without silence, self-discovery is impossible. The first step is to be silent. Only speak when necessary, and you will find that most of our talking, about 90%, is unnecessary or even harmful. If people didn't talk so much, it could reduce about 90% of the problems in the world. When people become quieter, there are fewer fights, less restlessness, and less arguing. If both individuals learn to stay silent, many problems in the world could be avoided. Can you imagine how different our world could be if we all embraced this wisdom? The power of words, a double-edged sword. Gautama Buddha, one of the most revered spiritual leaders in history, often imparted profound wisdom to his followers. Have you ever thought about the immense power that lies in the words we speak? Buddha likened the human tongue, which we use to speak, to the sharpest knife in the world. What a striking image! This analogy was not merely poetic but deeply insightful. Buddha understood that, while words might not inflict physical wounds, they possess an incredible capacity to impact others emotionally. Our words are more than just sounds or letters, they carry weight and can influence the lives of those around us in ways we might not fully comprehend. Words have the potential to uplift, motivate, and inspire. They can serve as a source of strength, giving comfort to someone in distress, or empowering a person to take on challenges. However, this power can also be a double-edged sword. When used carelessly, words can become a source of weakness, causing harm to others and to ourselves. The emotional pain inflicted by harsh or thoughtless words can linger for a lifetime, far outlasting physical injuries. Have you ever felt the sting of someone's careless words? Or maybe you've unintentionally hurt someone with your own. It's a humbling thought, isn't it? The dangers of excessive talking, a trap to avoid. My dear friends, have you ever noticed that talking too much doesn't bring peace to the mind? It's true, isn't it? The more we talk, the more we find it difficult to control our thoughts and stay focused. People who talk too much struggle to concentrate on one task, and because of this, they can't give their full attention to their goals. They often miss out on understanding the true meaning of life, making it harder to attain their desired success. Does this sound familiar? Excessive talking is not just a habit, it's a trap that many of us fall into without realizing it. When we talk too much, we often lose sight of what is truly important. Our minds become scattered, and our thoughts chaotic. We get so caught up in speaking that we forget to listen, to others, to ourselves, and to the world around us. Can you relate to this? Furthermore, have you noticed that those who talk too much are sometimes mocked by others, while those who speak less and stand by their words earn respect? People tend to pay attention to what someone says and trust their words. But a person with a troubled mind typically finds it hard to succeed because they lack genuine interest in their work. The more we talk, the more we distance ourselves from the truth. We begin to speak for the sake of speaking, rather than to communicate something meaningful. This can lead to misunderstandings, miscommunications, and even conflicts. Isn't it better to speak less and let our words carry weight? The value of speaking less, a path to success. True intelligence lies in knowing when, where, and what to say. Wouldn't you agree? Those who develop this skill tend to succeed in various situations. A person who speaks less often becomes the center of attention and tends to succeed in various pursuits. When we observe the qualities of great individuals, we find that they use few words, carefully considering what they say, and this contributes to their success. In contrast, many people talk excessively, often resorting to dishonesty and spreading negativity about others, which can harm relationships and reputations. That's why those close to them often try to avoid them. Can you see the importance of choosing your words wisely? Great individuals throughout history have understood the value of silence and the power of words. They have used their words sparingly and with intention, knowing that what they say can have a lasting impact. This careful consideration of words is one of the key factors that contribute to their success. On the other hand, those who speak without thinking often find themselves entangled in conflicts and misunderstandings. Their words, instead of building bridges, create walls that distance them from others. Is this the legacy you want to leave behind? The power of inner silence, a new way of being, the monk continued. someone who understands the value of silence can be at peace even in a crowded place. Being alone can be like heaven, while the company of others can sometimes make us uncomfortable. It's important to start by finding peace within yourself and embracing silence, allowing your inner energy to flow. Invite your thoughts to settle down. If you wake up feeling disturbed by the presence of others, it's a good idea to close your eyes and reconnect with your inner self. You'll find a sense of freshness inside yourself because that's where your life originates. It's not in anyone else, it comes from the same source as you. When no one else can take you within, you must go there yourself. So look inward, because you are the ultimate ruler of your inner world. That's where life begins. And that's where happiness is born. When you look inside yourself, you'll encounter the depths of life and even touch upon the notion of death. This inner journey is like watching your own life go through ups and downs, like the sun rising and setting. Every time you take this inner journey and come back, you'll feel refreshed. It's like feeling cool after a nice bath. In the same way, when someone takes time to be quiet and reflect on their thoughts, they often feel more peaceful and happy afterward. Can you imagine the peace and clarity that comes from such a practice? What if you could start today? The joy of inner silence, the gateway to true happiness, when you truly connect with your inner self. You'll find that talking doesn't upset your mind. Imagine that. Instead, there's a constant feeling of calmness inside you. You can talk and still remain connected to your inner self. You can use words without breaking your inner peace. When you do this, your words will have a beautiful quality, like music, and everything will be in harmony. Wouldn't that be wonderful? When you maintain inner silence, you start to tap into a strong inner strength and break free from societal pressures. You'll find a special joy in life, similar to the joy of those who passionately follow their dreams. Your face will have a new brightness, and your eyes will shine with a unique light as you dive into the ocean of endless peace. Doesn't that sound like the life you've always wanted? Inner silence is not about the absence of sound, it's about the presence of a deep, abiding calm that permeates every aspect of your being. It is a state of mind where you are fully present, fully aware, and fully connected to the essence of who you are. This inner silence allows you to experience life in its purest form, untainted by the noise and distractions of the outside world. What if you could experience life this way every day? Conclusion: embrace silence for a fulfilled life. In ancient texts from different cultures, there is often talk about how our words reflect our beliefs and values. Being quiet helps us become patient, which makes us more aware. Meditating can help us understand ourselves better. So, my friends, I suggest you spend at least 20 minutes alone in solitude every day. Just 20 minutes. Can you imagine the profound positive changes this simple practice could bring to your life? Silence is not just the absence of words, it is the presence of something much deeper. It is the space where we can truly connect with ourselves and with the world around us. By embracing silence, we allow ourselves to listen more deeply, to observe more keenly, and to understand more fully. This understanding leads to greater patience, greater awareness, and ultimately, greater peace, as we come to the end of this Zen journey. I invite you to become an integral part of our Inspira Zen community. If you found inspiration in this story, please support us by hitting the like button, sharing it with your friends, and leaving a comment below with your thoughts or any Zen stories you'd like to hear next. And for more moments of motivation and tranquility, don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell. Your engagement fuels our journey. Thank you for walking this path of wisdom and enlightenment with us. In conclusion, remember that silence is not something to be feared or avoided. It is a powerful tool that can lead to greater understanding, greater peace, and ultimately, a more fulfilled life. Embrace silence, and you will discover that it is in the quiet moments that life's greatest truths are revealed. Isn't that something worth striving for? As the master finished sharing his insights on the power of silence and the careful use of words, the disciples sat in quiet contemplation. The courtyard, bathed in the soft glow of the afternoon sun, was filled with a deep sense of serenity. The disciples had learned much from the morning's lesson, but the Master sensed that they were still grappling with the profound truths they had encountered. After a few moments, the Master spoke again, his voice gentle yet resonant. My dear disciples, you have now experienced the power of silence and the weight that words can carry. But true understanding requires more than just listening, it requires reflection and practice. One of the disciples, who had been particularly moved by the day's teachings, hesitated before asking, Master, how do we carry these lessons with us into the world? How do we ensure that we speak wisely and embrace silence in our daily lives? The Master smiled, pleased with the question. The journey you embark on now is one of mindfulness and intention. As you return to your lives outside this monastery, remember that every word you speak has the potential to uplift or to harm, to create or to destroy. Choose your words as you would choose your actions, with care and thoughtfulness. He paused, allowing his words to sink in, before continuing. Silence, too, is a powerful tool, not to be feared but to be embraced. It is in silence that we find clarity, peace, and the strength to navigate the challenges of life. Practice silence not just in moments of meditation, but in your interactions with others. Listen more than you speak, and you will discover that the world around you has much to teach. The disciples nodded, each one contemplating how they might apply these teachings in their own lives. The Master could see the determination in their eyes and knew that they were ready to take the next steps on their spiritual paths. As you prepare to leave this place, the Master said, carry with you the lessons of today. Let your words be few but full of meaning. Let your silence be deep but full of presence. And remember, true wisdom is not in knowing when to speak, but in knowing when not to. With these final words, the Master stood up and gestured for his disciples to rise as well. Before you go, he added, take a moment to reflect on what you have learned. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and let the silence fill your hearts. When you open your eyes again, you will be ready to face the world with new understanding and greater peace. The disciples did as the Master instructed. They closed their eyes, breathing in the stillness of the courtyard, and allowed the silence to settle within them. When they opened their eyes, they felt a renewed sense of purpose and tranquility, ready to return to their lives with the Master's teachings as their guide. As they began to leave the monastery, one by one, the Master watched them with a sense of quiet pride. He knew that they had learned a lesson that would stay with them for a lifetime, a lesson not just of words and silence, but of the profound wisdom that lies in between. And so, the disciples departed, each carrying within them the gift of silence and the power of words, forever changed by the Master's teachings.